Welcome everybody to another RWD gaming video, where tonight we are showcasing Phillip Maddi's TreasureQuest RPG system. It is a D12 pulp fiction action car chases, getting shot at with mummies in Egypt. Now we're going to Italy, so you're simply at a loss to not hang out and check out what we got going on for the evening. This is an adult channel, so we will have probably adult language, at least I will, so be warned. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Phillip so he can kick us out of here. Phillip.
Thanks, guys. I'll first let everyone introduce their characters and who they're playing. So you can go ahead and start off, Justin.
Okay, cool. My character is Callista Cora. She is an ace, is her kind of class type, and then her profession is she's a smuggler. She operates on the Mediterranean, smuggling goods and gathering information.
Thanks. Go ahead, Megan.
Hey everyone, I'm Megan, and tonight I will be playing Jack Bennett, who is a contact who nobody really knows what his job is. He deals with people and getting them to do things that he wants, that he is hired to do. So I'm very excited to get back into this. I've been having an absolute blast, so yay.
Thank you. Carol?
Hi, my name is Carol. I'm playing Alice, Miss Dr. Alice Turk-Raleigh, who is a Egyptologist. She's a scholar, and she's quite the expert on Egyptian antiquities and interesting things like that. So that's going to be her part in this interesting treasure quest.
Yeah. And finally, Baron.
I will be reprising my role as Brennan Colburn. The rough and tough him, shoot him up and punch him in the face, bruiser type. And I got messed up last session. Needed to seek medical attention.
That is correct. Today we join our heroes at the hospital where Jack and Cowley have just returned from gathering some information about the final destination for the stolen cargo, and they have just reached the hospital where Brendan and Alice have been rehabilitating. So we'll go ahead and let Jack take it from here.
So Jack is going to go into the hospital room where Brennan is probably just finishing up packing his things. You ever been to Italy?
Twice. Not my favorite country, but why?
Well, favorite or not, buck up. That's where we're headed.
Great. Kind of like stretching. Still kind of like bloody bandages in various locations. How soon can we leave?
Well, I'm pretty sure that Callie is arranging flights right now. Hopefully we can get some sort of group deal or something. And he kind of laughs.
Do they have those?
He just kind of looks at you as his eyebrows raise.
She says, flights, yeah. I've actually never been on an airplane. much more comfortable on the open sea. There's one little problem, though. I kind of don't have a ship anymore. That got impounded.
Sir, you've never been on a plane.
Right Terrafly flying. If I can't control it, I don't trust it.
I think about that time Alice comes in with her bag. She's packed up and ready to go. What? You've never been on a plane? There's absolutely nothing to it, my dear. Just nothing to it. I fly quite often. It's the only way to
Put
get
me in
where
the
you-
cockpit, and I'm pretty sure I could figure it out. Let's go find a plane.
Somehow I'm less confident in this plan.
It'll be fine. Just don't let her fly it. We'll be fine.
Is a charter flight an option?
Why don't you go ahead and make a cunning or knowledge roll when trying to figure out travel arrangements?
Yeah, I actually, well, that's navigating. I get an extra die while navigating, but yeah, I don't know anything about how to do that without my own ship. I failed.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry,
So
guys.
basically, yeah, that's your
I'm just,
you don't, as far as you know, you only know ships, and you know that yours is impounded, so of course you know that there are like passage that you can book, but you don't know where to go specifically to book it.
I think at that point, Jack would look to Brennan and Alice. Well, you can't say I didn't give her a fighting chance now, did I?
Yes. Can you hook us up, Jack?
Why don't you let me see what I can do, who I can call? I think I have a... Oh, no, he died. Not in a plane crash, don't worry. Rooster
Plane.
accident.
Plane, ship, really doesn't matter. Seems like all we need to do is get to the Mediterranean.
Yeah, go ahead and make your roll. I think that's renown also will work. Sorry, Hovland, I should have had you make a renown check upon reflection. But Jack,
it was an 11, so
okay. So Jack,
Um,
go ahead and make a renown.
So I get one success when trying to make travel arrangements.
Okay, you still get to roll on top of that automatic success.
Okay. That is a success.
Okay, so with 2 successes, you'll know that there are a few ways of travel to the Mediterranean. You can book a passage on a flight, but you'll have to kind of like hop. There's no direct flight to Italy. You'll just land in Paris, and then you'll go from Paris to Rome, and then from Rome you can try to figure out where else to go. You know that you can also take a ferry across the channel and then take a train into Italy. Or you can book passage on a ship. You also, with an additional success, would know someone that's not a private, or that's not a public charter, but is like a private charter, so you could get there maybe faster. And then
On a
the last
ship? Sorry, on a ship?
well, the items went on a ship, so you could get there faster than the item, or you could like catch up to the items, but a plane would definitely be the fastest.
Okay.
And then the last option that you would know of is, you know, a guy who has an experimental craft. It's a Zeppelin. So you could go by Zeppelin down there as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
The 1930s dirigible.
So I think after making a few different calls through the hospital, he would come back. Right, well, got a couple of different options for you. Plane, train, ship, or something called a Zeppelin.
Oh, a Zeppelin, of course. I've heard about those. That would be quite interesting. I would be fascinated.
I've always wanted to fly one of those.
We're being serious and sarcastic here. It's a balloon.
Right. Well, basically, yeah. And my buddy there, he says it's experimental, and that's just probably a really nice way of putting it. Is we probably won't die, but there's no guarantee.
Oh, there's never any guarantee anyway, dearie.
Very well.
So what'll it be, folks?
The Zeppelin sounds really cool. It doesn't seem very sneaky, though.
Well, they
I don't know.
probably wouldn't expect us on the Zeppelin.
Yeah, and the Zeppelin might draw attention to itself, leaving us an opportunity to sneak out and not be noticed. Okay, I knew that the mob was probably like onto me last time at the bar.
Correct.
Can I think about like how they would expect me to travel? Like, what would be the least expected option? I want to figure out the least expected
Absolutely.
option. What kind
Do
of check should that be?
That's cunning for sure. You're trying to outwit the mob.
Okay, I rolled another 11, so
Yeah, man, it's been a long night. You are a little frayed from being shot at. You know,
yeah.
you're used to covert operations, and that was pretty up in your face. So you're a little shook.
Yep. I'm just. I'll go along with your decision.
Yeah. You guys can feel free to ask any questions about different travel too. So to me, I would say that like a Zeppelin would allow you don't have to refuel with a Zeppelin. So, you know, you wouldn't have to like make any stops off in Paris or anything like that. You could go straight to your destination, wherever that may be. And although I suppose if I'll leave it up to you guys if you want it to be like a big thing that you like sneak onto with a lot of fanfare, or if you want it to be like a more private, like this guy is just kind of whack job trying out this thing.
I like the idea of like an expensive luxury Zeppelin.
Yeah, that's how I was leaning also. So yeah, this is definitely a fancy to do.
Well, I'll fit right in. Perhaps if I wear my sunglasses and my hat, no one will know it's me.
Great. So it sounds like you're going to the Zeppelin. On your way out of the hospital, you all notice that there is a increased police presence about the hospital. You make your way through the lobby and you see that the police are talking with, you know, the people at the front desk and going through files, and they kind of rush past you guys in the hallway as they're headed to what seems to be your old rooms.
Perhaps we should hurry.
Yeah, Jack would. Looks like we got out of there just in the nick of time. and is going to try and get some sort of taxi.
Yeah, you can hail a taxi, no problem. And you guys, yeah, you can hail a taxi, no problem. And it pulls up the curb next to you. All right, where are you going?
Where is Jack's friend?
Yeah, you can, I guess, the airfield. The driver would know where the big Zeppelin takeoff is happening.
Okay, yeah. You know that big balloon that's just outside the city limits there? That's where we're headed.
Alrighty. All right. Well, you guys must be important. You can get on that. Fantastic. I'll take you there right now. So you'll pile in, and this is a really cheery driver, and he's trying to like talk your ear off kind of thing. You know, asking you about all these questions, telling you about his own life, much too personal details for you guys to really care. You make it to the airfield, no problem. And there you meet your friend Lenny, who will exchange the tickets with you, Jack. And before you guys board the Zeppelin, is there anything you want to do?
I guess that Alice would probably kind of pull her fur coat up and wear her hat and her sunglasses, act hoity-toity as she goes on, hoping that nobody really realizes who it is.
No problem. So
I probably didn't fool anybody.
go ahead and make a cunning check for a disguise.
Amazingly, with 4 cunning, I rolled a 2 and it was successful.
Great. So
I would not expect that.
yeah, on the next or whenever you're rolling to dupe someone, you'll get an automatic success for that. And then anyone else? You guys see Alice kind of like take out this large fur coat from one of her or from her huge suitcase and put on a hat and some glasses.
Do I feel like we're being watched or something? Like, do we need to hide? when boarding?
You guys are far enough away from like there's a huge crowd encircling this Zeppelin that just looms over this field. There's a band playing. There are people. There's like people recording it, and there's just lots of fancy, luxurious people who are coming to walk up. But there's also lots of less wealthy people who are there just to kind of witness this. So you can easily go off to the side and kind of disguise yourselves without being noticed.
Okay. Well, I've rolled a 5 cunning to disguise myself, which is over 8, so I can just kind of maybe like change my hair,
Yeah.
flop it some different way, so I'm less recognizable.
Yeah.
Kind of sneak my way on.
So that'll also give you an automatic success when you go to try to trick someone or gain access or something.
Okay.
So as you guys are approaching this entrance for the Zeppelin, you notice that there is a heavy police presence here as well, but they're not really like checking people in. That's done by the organization, hosting this Zeppelin launch. So they're there kind of just to keep the crowd at bay. And you can approach the kiosk of the gentleman who is taking tickets, who's wearing a right trim suit and has hair greased to the side.
I think Jack would just stride up. Hiya there, friend. We got four tickets here for a one-way trip on this mighty machine.
Yes, and who would you be?
Well, of course, I'm
Go ahead and make a
Jackson. Yeah,
go
Barrett
ahead and make a
Jackson.
renown check.
Okay. That's a pass.
Okay. So he'll check against this list that he has. Barrett Jackson. Okay. Let me see your ticket and follow through. Dinner will be served at 7. There will be tea at 3, and lunch will be served at noon. So let me know if you have any problems. Please find your way to your room. And by room, it's like private rail car rooms, just kind of like a booth, almost a little bit bigger than a booth.
And as they're walking up, gotta remember to send Lenny and his wife some fruitcake or something. Thank him for this. That's what you Brits like, right? Fruitcake?
Yes, it's exquisite. And as you continue to walk on, who's going to be the next person to turn in their ticket as he looks expectantly at the group?
I think Alice would walk forward, holding her ticket out. Rather,
Yes, ma'am, thank you. And he'll take your ticket and he'll say, and who are you?
Andrea Turk.
And with your automatic success, he'll look at his list and kind of say,
She gives him her
yes,
best movie star look.
Yes, have a lovely time, ma'am. And he'll snap his fingers over at someone to help you with your bag on board.
Yes. If by all means I need help with that bag, and she kind of pulls her coat up and strides, onto the ship.
And he'll look back. And the lovely couple?
Okay. Yeah, I'll say, I'm Jane Doe. This is my husband, John Doe.
Yes, I'll need both of you to roll a renown check together.
Okay. Does my automatic success from cunning count for anything?
Yes.
I got a success. Mr.
I
and
have a
Mrs.
failure
Doe,
on the
if you
renown.
please.
He'll look you guys up and down and he'll say, "Oh, you look in a little rough shape," and check his list and say, "Yes, well, just try not to get blood on the booth. Thank you. Go ahead, go in."
Dear.
You guys can all make your way onto the Zeppelin, and the Zeppelin is very luxurious. There's fine wood carved trim, just velvety carpet, going all throughout the cabin. There is a central dining area, and then also lining either side, private booths. There is kind of there's a piano on a little bit of a stage in front of the dining area. And you can think of it as pretty much a swanky club that's just in the air.
Kelly, you play the piano, don't you? So young, pretty girl's got to play the piano. I mean, Alice's mind.
Spent most of my youth playing with knives and picking locks. Never did find much time for music. And she will probably make her way to like the bar or something, and try to find a shadowy spot to sit and just blend in and watch the crowd.
I never learned either, I guess. And Alice will go sit at a booth and order champagne. Because,
yes,
gotta fit in.
The servers find you promptly and ask for your ticket number that they will link the charge to, and are serving shrimp cocktails, champagne, escargot, and other opulent hors d'oeuvres.
Yes. Alice definitely orders a large plate full of interesting goodies and a glass of champagne.
What kind of check would it be for a piano?
I would say that that's a knowledge check.
All right, so I think
maybe I should play the piano.
I think Brennan knows how to play the piano.
Okay,
that would be perfect.
Brennan indeed knows how to play the piano. I rolled a 1/5.
That's great. So I'll let you play the piano whenever you want. Right now, it's kind of like people are still filing in, finding their booths, ordering food.
As soon as there's the opportunity, I'm gonna weasel my way in to serenade the Zeppelin.
Yeah, so no one's even playing yet on stage, and you kind of strut up there and crack your knuckles and begin playing. What kind of tune would Brennan play?
Brennan is playing Beethoven.
Much to the everyone around you is impressed, and
Brennan is impressed.
You notice people. Some people notice you, some people don't, and kind of assume that you're part of it. Like you're supposed to be playing. That's how good you are. And after a while, the staircase will lift up, and a worker in a tuxedo will come up to you. Thank you, sir. Exquisite playing. Please find your seat now.
I won't even say anything to him. I'll just get up and walk over. Probably to Jack's room.
Yeah, so do you guys want to share a room? Do you have different rooms?
If it goes to one ticket, I don't necessarily think that Brennan knows how that ticket works with the charges. So if I can put it on Jack's bill.
They ask per person what your ticket number is so they can charge it to that ticket.
We'll just give them all Jack's number.
There you go.
How long are we going to be on this? Is it going to be like overnight? So the lady should have a room, or
it will be an overnight travel. So the booths will each sleep 2.
Probably a booth for the ladies and one for the gents would be my suggestion.
Yep, that makes sense. So Jack and Brendan will get a booth, and Alice and Callie will get a booth. And as you guys find your booths, you hear over the intercom speakers, "Thank you for joining this flagship flight of," excuse me, "of the Royal Monarch. We will be landing in Rome, and please, if you have any need for anything, contact one of the lovely hosts or hostesses, and they shall accommodate you immediately. We anticipate a smooth ride all the way, with an early morning arrival in Rome." And the speakers cut out.
I think that Jack would have, or at least he's going to attempt to procure a bottle of whiskey to bring to the room, if he can.
Sure. Go ahead and make a renown check.
Maybe I should roll it in the thing. That is the same, so a pass.
It's quite unorthodox, sir, but I suppose I could give you a mostly full bottle. And he'll kind of wink at you. The server who you're negotiating with pull out his own flask, fill it up a little bit, and then give you the rest of the bottle. "No harm done, sir."
He kind of like taps his nose and points to him, and many, many thanks. And he's gonna bring it into the room.
Yeah. So you're able to bring it in to Brennan, who's waiting for you in the booth.
What'd you man to pick up for us?
And he would kind of turn and look at it for the first time. Not the best year, but think it'll do. And it's probably like some sort of very fancy whiskey. He's just trying to be an ass. So, and he would take 2 glasses, I think, that are normally meant for water. Give one to Brennan.
There's probably like an ice bucket with like tongs, and it's like just knock the tongs out of the way and grab some ice and put it in the cup.
Cheers, my good man.
Hi, here's to Italy.
Here's to finding Dr. Sudbury, one way or another.
Aye, one way or another.
And we'll cut to the other room where Alice and Callie have made themselves comfortable.
Yes. Alice's luggage will take up half the room. We'll be tripping over it every time we go somewhere.
Callie will be visibly irritated about that, and she has no luggage at all.
Alice will be totally oblivious. It's Alice and her luggage. What can I say?
Callie will probably ask you like what you're searching for, because she just got brought into this like yesterday and doesn't really know what you guys are doing, doesn't know about the letters, any of the significance really.
Oh. Well, Dr. Sudbury disappeared. He's one of the foremost Egyptologists, almost as good as I am. And his niece called us, sent us letters to come to the sale of his properties, and there were clues sending us to try to find him.
So this is like a rescue mission?
Yes.
Hmm.
And he said he found her, meaning he found the tomb, I believe, of Nefertiti, which would be a major archaeological find of great interest.
Uh-huh. And might there be some kind of reward involved?
Reward? This is knowledge. There's going to be all sorts of like, we'll be famous.
Okay, well,
And those archaeologists, those scum, they would not let me into their archaeology club or whatever it is. Those scum will have their noses rubbed in it and discover that it really didn't know anything. Putting down Dr. Sudbury, telling me that his artifacts were not the quality that I know they were. And then trying to tell me that one that was absolute garbage, that was a fake, was worth something. They know nothing.
So Callie kind of zones out during all this and is just thinking about like, if I could get my hands on something from a fresh tomb or something, that would pay off for sure. But she doesn't voice that.
Well, towards the end of her tirade about the two that had snubbed her so badly at Dr. Sudbury's house, she's like, there may be some possibilities for income involved as well. I'm sure if he found Nefertiti's tombs, there's some very valuable artifacts in that. And she smiles.
So one thing that Callie would want to try to do too is maybe like she knows that Alice is very knowledgeable, and Callie has her smuggling experience and kind of knows the ports around. She wants to try to reason out where that freighter might be heading, like where they're going to try to go once they get to Rome, and or take over this blimp and fly it directly to the port.
Okay, great. So that brings me to downtime. So basically, you guys are traveling. The Zeppelin has lifted off, and you see London dwindling in the rear view. You are headed across the English Channel, and sailing is smooth. The dining area is filled up. People are playing music. It's a beautiful, bright day. This is like an amazing ride. Everyone can take some time to enjoy the scenery, and then also you can do whatever you would like to do. There's gambling on the blimp, there's liquor, there's fine food, there's lots of rich people, and apparently a necessity to really figure out which Italian port the items could have been shipped to as well. So you guys can tell me, basically it's 2 and 2 in each room right now, but you're free to mingle and do whatever.
Go ahead, Jack.
I think that Jack is going to take advantage of the ship, at least for a good amount of the time, before he really starts kind of doing some actual searching and information getting. I think after him and Brendan have probably finished about a third, if not half of the bottle, he's going to wander out and he's going to take part in some gambling because he cannot resist a good bet.
Great. So you make your way to a table of your choice. What game would you like to play? There are several card games.
I think he's a blackjack guy.
That makes sense. So you can sit down at a blackjack table. There are several other gentlemen around at various states in their chip pile, some looking distraught and a little drunk, some looking rather chipper with some elegant ladies on their arms. The dealer will look at you. Well, it's a $50 buy-in. Can you match that?
Yeah, he's going to do that, and I think he would use one of his the cash things that he has in order to make himself look maybe a little bit more of means than he actually is.
Yeah, go ahead and do a renown check.
Okay. So I'm just wondering, sorry, the wording here, just for clarification. So you gain, so for example, when I have well-traveled, I gain 1 success. And then in cash here, it says automatically pass 1 renown obstacle. What is the difference between that?
Sorry, I forgot that cash was automatically passed. So yeah, you don't need to make a check. You spend the cash and you can buy into the game. And yes, people are looking at you as if like, didn't quite expect that. Nice. And you can make your first bet. And yeah.
So yeah, I've played blackjack like once, so I don't really. He's gonna do things and stuff, bet, you know.
Yeah. What is your goal with playing blackjack? Is it to gain money? Is it to gain information from other players?
I think like he knows in the back of his mind that he's supposed to be getting information, but I have a feeling that gambling put him in a lot of trouble back home. So I think he has kind of a little bit of an addiction to getting some money. So I think that might trump. But I mean, but he's kind of a naturally charismatic guy. So if he's not going to purposely go and try and get information, but if there's passing information, he will kind of tuck it away.
Yeah, so go ahead and make a cunning check.
Okay. Yep. That is a pass.
So you have gained back, or you've now doubled your cash. You put 1 cash in, and now you have 2 cash to work with after a couple hands. And for the other 2 gentlemen who are playing, the one who was doing poorly has also done well the last few hands, and the one who is doing well has now done poorly. And they seem to know each other and are kind of jabbing back and forth at each other. And yeah, they're just kind of chatting to each other, not necessarily engaging you unless you want to engage them.
I don't think he would intrude on what they're saying. I think he's very focused on he feels real good after getting that money back.
Okay. Would you like to... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Hoplin.
Oh, well, I mean, Callie would be in there watching. Like, she wouldn't have found a game yet. She'd be waiting till later. But she would try to be, like, watching Jack to make, to see if... I don't know if she's close enough to hear what these guys are talking about.
Well, why don't you just make a cunning check with an additional die if you're going to use your
My earring.
earring
Yeah, I've been like floating
to
around the
gather
background.
intel. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like floating around, like seeing how they react to Jack. 2 successes on that.
Okay. So you're kind of surveying the whole
Yeah.
restaurant, and you are hearing a lot of chatter. So you had the conversation earlier with Alice, and you are hearing a lot of chatter about the missing artifacts from the British Museum. You saw them get shipped off. You weren't really sure the importance of them, but now that you hear everyone talking about them, and there's also you've now heard that someone has been arrested in links to the missing artifacts, and it was like some heiress or something from some archaeologist, like they were related. You don't really know exactly. And you also know that the police are still looking for other people, and their primary suspects are these people who posed as investigators at the British Museum. That's their only lead. So basically, there's a reward out for more information regarding these people, and they give some fake names that you can take note of. And you also notice that Jack is really focused on the gambling.
Yeah. He seems
Alice.
a little bit tipsy too.
Yes, yes. Alice, what would you like to do during this time?
I think Alice would probably make her way in, which I assume would be tables probably in this and everything else. Maybe not. But she's going to be sitting at a table, nice snack or meal, depending on what time of the day it happens to be. Maybe drinking some more champagne and just kind of enjoying this nice life that she feels that she's, for some reason.
Yes, you've been turned on to this kind of new mix of drinks also, so that you can continue drinking it throughout the day. It's a mix of champagne with some orange juice, and it's not been very long since oranges have been cheap enough to be able to just squeeze them for their juice, but they are now, and you're enjoying these lovely mimosas. And while you are sipping your mimosa, you happen to notice out of the corner of your eye, you hear their voices first, and they are 2 voices you will not forget, because they are always misconstruing things and wrong. And you see out of the corner of your eye John Pendlebury and Mary Chubb, who are on this Zeppelin.
Yes. Oh, those spoil sports. The very ones. Dear. I wonder.
They have not recognized you yet.
She fights down the urge to start talking to them and castigating them for their laughing at them for paying too much for the artifact at the auction. But so she's like, doesn't it occur to her that she necessarily really needs to hide? But she thinks maybe she'd best
You are in a disguise, so you probably know that you don't want to break that disguise.
Yeah. Maybe it would be time to move on to a different room, and of which she would rather like to talk to them.
Okay. Yeah, so you
So
notice them out of the corner of your eye and kind of try to avoid them as they are moving across the room, and they're going to sit on the other side. Go ahead and make a cunning check to avoid their detection.
I got a 3 out of 4.
And you are able to narrowly avoid their detection. There's a point at which Mary gets up to go and use the facilities, and she passes by you, and you have to trip a waiter to kind of cause a commotion to make her change paths and avoid seeing you, and you're able to just continue enjoying yourself without their gaze. And finally, Brennan, what would you like to do while you are traveling?
I think I am trying to like schmooze with some cute woman at the bar.
Yeah. So there is a lady who is wearing a red tight-fitting dress with long white gloves, drinking a martini, and you can kind of, make eyes with her across the bar. If you would like to approach her and start talking to her, go ahead and make a renown check.
One's gonna be a crash and burn. We got a 9/5.
So you go and start talking to her, and she's just kind of, yes, and what school was it you said you graduated from again?
Oxford.
Yes, well, you would expect someone with a degree from Oxford to be a bit more articulate. Have a good evening. Go bother someone else. And she'll kind of just leave you.
Noted. Ouch.
And so, the bartender will kind of like take pity on you and pour you a drink. No charge. So you guys can regroup at this stage, or it's now about evening, so it's getting into dinner time.
Callie would definitely share like the information that she's heard about like the rumors, like talking about this heiress and the archaeologist and the people posing as investigators, especially if she would see like
To whom would you
um
seek one of your companions out to tell them,
well,
or
she's mostly been hanging out, like she intends to stay out there late, but I wonder if she saw Alice slip away. And what would I check to see if I see her, you think?
you would notice her
Okay.
slipping away.
Yeah.
You know where all of your companions
Yeah.
are.
Okay. So especially if she saw, like, if Alice looked a little bit worried, she may make her way over to talk to Alice, like give her an update on what she knows. Kind of a follow up to the conversation they had earlier when they got the bunk at first. Yeah. So she'll relay all that information, just all the stuff she heard.
Alice.
See if it means anything to Alice.
Alice will respond very quietly. You know, dear, those people looking for us. That's where it all kind of got crazy. The mask, the sun's mask at the British Museum. Said there were inscriptions on the back of Sudbury, and that would be the professor. By his niece Alice. And she's very quiet and all this so that so others wouldn't hear. And the mob was there. Probably wrong. That's where we ran into you. And the mask is the order to try to search out Dr. Sudbury. But there's a lot of opposition out there. I saw John Pendle, those two that kept me out of the Egyptology Society. I saw them here. I think they're probably behind some of the trouble.
It does seem suspicious that these people who were at the house would also be here now.
Oh, and she gives Callie a description of John Pendle, which I don't exactly remember. I think Mary Chubb was a heavyset woman.
Okay.
I remember correctly.
Yeah, John Pendlebury is all like elbows and knees, very tall and slender, and Mary Chubb looks more accustomed to administrative work rather than field work. However, this is you know, Alice, that this is her foray into field work. She's just been given her and John Pendlebury have just been given the rights to lead an expedition to search for King Amenhotep's chamber.
And so why they wouldn't have to have their fingers into Nefertiti's tomb, I have no idea.
I feel like
people.
Callie might just go back out there and try to kind of sit near them, or hang around, drift around near them, see if she can overhear them saying anything, because they shouldn't know who Callie is.
That's correct. So at this point, I will let Jack. Do you want to keep gambling into the evening?
Yeah, I think with the whiskey, and then I think he orders more drinks, and I think that he is gradually forgetting more and more about what the actual mission is as he's getting more and more engrossed into this game. And I think at this point, too, he's probably becoming a little bit belligerent. Not too much, but just getting kind of loud.
Okay. So at this point, you have new people who have approached the table. There is one regal woman who is playing and kind of like eyeing you up and down. And then there's also an older gentleman who is playing, and he seems to be doing very well. Go ahead and roll 2 checks for cunning. Roll 2 dice and tell me how many you pass.
Okay. Where am I? That is 1 success and 1 failure.
Okay, so you lose all of your cash.
Oh boy.
And as you are losing, you're kind of drunk, and you notice that, yes, this lady has been like lingering in her looks towards you, and you guys have maybe been flirting a little bit, and then this older gentleman is like scoffing at you whenever you would make a bet that he would disapprove of. He would just kind of like, yes, well, that's what the bull-headed young do. Kind of just, like being gruff towards you.
Yeah, he would, once he loses the final of his cash that he has, he would just, fucking Christ, and he just throws down his cards. Kind of leans back.
What passion, young man, the lady next to you will say. Yes, well, if you haven't got a bet, you must leave the table. Yes, sir. Bet or leave the table.
Yeah, old man. I'm going. And he kind of looks at the woman and just kind of winks and gives her a smile. Just, I do hope this isn't the last time I'll be seeing you. And he kind of like stumbles into her a little bit as he's saying that. He has to like catch himself on the table.
Yeah, and she'll like reach out for you and say, "Oh, good gracious! Oh, yes! Oh!" and like cover her mouth with a handkerchief, and you can walk away, and she'll just be a little like turn red. And so we'll cut over to Brennan, who has struck out at the bar himself. What do you do after that, Brennan?
I think there's a time where I find myself at the table with Jack for a couple hands. I get up and I am going to go to the room. Just make sure our stuff is all secure.
Yeah, so you can go to the room and everything. Make a knowledge check.
Does hitting our stat count as a success?
Yes.
I got a 5 out of 5.
All right. So you notice that nothing seems to be off in your room, but the door to the ladies' room is open.
I'm gonna go take a peek.
So as you enter the room, go ahead and make a cunning check.
1/4. This is a good dice for this game.
Yeah, that's nice. So you knew in your room what would be misplaced since you were the last person to leave there, but you haven't been to the girls' room yet, so you didn't really know like what would be misplaced. But you do notice that Alice's luggage is open and has been gone through.
Rather than be the wrong place, wrong time kind of thing, I'm gonna go seek out Alice.
Okay, you can go seek out Alice.
Alice, I got a bit of bad news. It appears as if someone may have been in your things.
What? Oh no. Well, we better go check.
After you.
She immediately starts kind of bustling off to her room.
Brennan would be behind her.
You guys rush past a rather intoxicated Jack also.
He is going to follow behind Alice, Brennan. Just
Sure.
stumbling behind you.
Come on. Hush.
What's happening? What's going on?
Alice trying to shush Jack down a little, trying to keep things sort of quiet, even though things are not quiet now. Shush, Jack, come with us. We'll show you.
Jack
Ignoring
goes,
the fact that she squealed when she heard her luggage had been gone. So, what should we find when we get there?
So as you guys enter the room, yeah, you see that your luggage is open, and it's not like everything's strewn about. It's just like people have gone through it. where were you keeping the letter from Dr. Sudbury? In your luggage or on you, do you think?
Kind of think she would keep it off.
If you kept it on yourself, then you would find that nothing is missing.
Okay. I'm trying to think whether she would trust people to stay out of her luggage or not. I mean, she's always sending her luggage off with everybody else. I think she would keep something personal on herself. I don't think she's quite so think that her luggage is sacred.
Yeah, so everyone pours in the room and you look to find that nothing is missing.
Well, I think it's all here, but why would somebody be going through my things? You don't think they're onto us, do you?
Well, I really doubt that someone would just go through someone's luggage randomly. I've bad feeling that we've been compromised.
Alice looks at drunken Jack. You weren't any too quiet, Jack. But
Who would think someone to be undercover would be so loud?
you know, I saw John Pendleberg and Mary Chubb here. Society. I saw them also at Dr. Sudbury's. Going through the auction and buying something that was phony. At any rate.
Do you think they would steal something from you?
I think they're just that kind of people. They are to things they don't belong in. They voted to keep me out of the Egyptology Society. How should they? How could they? My credentials are much better than theirs. Barely restrains herself academic tirade of their rivalry.
So Alice and
years.
Jack are quipping back and forth, talking about John Pendlebury and Mary Chubb. Callie and Brennan, what do you guys think about this whole situation?
I mean, I thought Callie was still in the lobby area of the bar area, like watching Mary and John.
Oh, yeah, you left. That's right. You left, Alice. So you are still there.
Yeah.
Go ahead and, so in that case, Brennan, what do you think about the whole situation?
Seems like either we played ourselves too well and they do think you're some sort of high-class socialite, or Jack here is right and we've been compromised. Who do we know that knows we're here? Jack. Who did you tell?
Wow, I almost went southern there for a moment.
I've been that drunk before.
I swear on my mother's good name, I didn't tell nobody nothing. I just sat there like a good little boy and played my cards until I lost.
Well, it beats me. I haven't told anyone.
I'm quite sure I haven't, although it's possible that John and Mary would recognize me, but nobody seemed to. They have sources, though. Somewhere they've got sources because they know things they really shouldn't.
And so we'll go to Callie. Callie, go ahead and make a cunning check to try and avoid detection as you are concentrating on.
That would be a pass.
Okay, so you are listening and eavesdropping in on John and Mary, and they are talking about their expedition. They're also talking about how that cheeky Margaret got what she deserved, and you're sure that she probably is behind the theft of the King Tut artifacts, and that surely that Alice Turklari was probably in on it also. They don't really know who the other suspects are, since you heard 3 names listed from the police. But as far as you know, as far as you can tell, they are just on their way to Italy and then making their way to Egypt to go off on their dig.
Cool. Okay, and they suspect Margaret and Alice for the theft. That's great. Okay.
So the evening extends, and what are your guys' evening plans? It gets late, dinner stops being served. It's more just drinks and gambling and smoking. You can't see out of the windows anymore, so people have all come from their private cabins, and either they're sleeping in their private cabins or they are out socializing. But it's early evening, so most people are socializing. Would you guys like to try to avoid detection for the rest of the night and go to sleep? What would you like to do?
Baron, I think if you're trying to talk, you're muted.
Dope. I think Brennan is kind of just relaxing, enjoying whatever kind of an entertainment is presented, whether it's billiards or darts or cards or whatever. I'm not trying to accomplish anything except for enjoying myself.
Great, yeah. So you're out mingling, not too worried about the rifling through of Alice's stuff. You've pretty much written it off as someone thinking she's rich and they're just trying to steal something from her. But you're out talking, and after a while, you do catch the eye of a rather attractive woman, and you guys get talking and flirting, and you're playing some parlor games together. And she's blonde and speaks very good English, but has an accent. You can't really tell if it's French or what. Go ahead and make a knowledge check. You're muted, bro.
6 over 5, so a failure.
So you guys are pretty much enjoying the night, enjoying the evening, and after it gets late into the night, you guys part ways with a little kiss, and she says she must go back to her room, and you're kind of okay with that. Okay, we are going to cut over to Callie. What are you doing?
She really wants to fly this thing. She's probably gonna try to like go to the cockpit and see if she can hang out with the crew or the pilots, like, and her kind of side quest in this. So that's personal interest, right? Figuring out how this machine works and just observing that. Secondarily, she thinks maybe the pilots or the crew, know something about where this freighter might be headed.
Yeah,
so she might try to drop some questions and just searching for more info.
Yeah, so as a smuggler, you're naturally looking at all of the entrances and exits, and you kind of know where to find the mechanical room. And so you go to the
I would
mechanical.
also totally pop open any like thing that I deem a good smuggling compartment and see what's in there.
Yeah, go ahead and make a cunning check.
Oh, failure.
Okay, so yeah, you eventually find the mechanic's room, and the like rather tall, slender man with dark hair wearing coveralls turns to you, and he speaks to you in very good English, but with an accent. Yes, can I help you? What are you doing here?
I'm just wondering if I could get a tour, see how this fancy newfangled machine works.
Oh, yes, of course. And he begins explaining to you about, just different components in this mechanical room and how they power different components for like the lighting and for the fans that are propelling them across the air. Seems to be knowledgeable in the mechanics of what's going on.
Can I like pull a lever? While he's explaining things, like I don't know.
Yeah, so
she's usually not too forward, but I'm trying like she's really curious about how this works.
yeah, go ahead and make a grit check.
Okay. I improved that, but that's a fail.
So you go to reach for like a valve to spin or something, and he'll kind of go and slap your hand and pull it away.
Okay.
No, do not mess with that. It's very dangerous.
That's
Very,
no way to
very
treat a lady.
dangerous. Oh, I'm sorry, that's no way to treat sensitive mechanical equipment. You'll have to leave now. And he ushers you out the door.
I get the boot. Okay.
Jack, what are you doing?
I think at this point, with no money, he is going to be just kind of chatting around, drifting from group to group, maybe handing out his card a few times, just kind of chatting. He's kind of not sobered up per se, but is less at that like stage, but is still fairly loud and gregarious.
Yes. Go ahead and make a renown check.
Okay. Would I be able to use etiquette in this situation?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
he's dealing with
hoity-toity? Yes, the situation that I see is you are kind of floating from table to table that has gathered a lot of people, and you're just generally trying to impress them, see whatever that can glean you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I imagine you're trying to impress them, and that's what this is seeing.
Okay. So I get one success when I attempt a situation that require customs or etiquette, and then that is another pass.
Great. So you are impressing these people. Your jokes are on cue. You have sobered up to the point where now you're just like buzzing and you are firing on all cylinders. You're doing exactly what Jack Bennett does, and people are interested in you and looking at you, and you're surrounded by people. Cutting over to Alice. Alice, what are you doing?
Increasingly bothered and kind of got over her first emotional someone going through her luggage and has been thinking about that. She would like to examine her luggage to see if there's any clues left while it went through it.
Okay, go ahead and make a knowledge check.
Okay. Now, if I do get 1+ die to searching for clues,
Yes.
would that add into the knowledge thing?
Yes.
Okay, so that gives me 2 dice for that. Well, I have 1 and 1 failure with the 12.
Okay, so you're searching. You've pretty much at this point like pulled everything out. And
Yes, I'm
like,
using my monocle, which is the magnify, looking at every little detail of everything I see. I can just see her on her knees, her luggage.
So you are able to find a strand of red hair and some like green sequins.
What would that mean?
And
Would she know anything about that?
yeah, you recall definitely one of the singers who was on stage had just vibrant red hair and was wearing a green sequin dress.
Okay. But she doesn't really know anything about the singer, except I recognize this, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
That's not John and Mary. Who would that be? She remembers that the Germans have been involved in everything, but was there a red-haired German?
Was what? Sorry?
Red-haired German in the German crew at Margaret's
no,
auction?
Not that you recall.
Okay. I guess at least I don't remember any redheads. Would she?
No, you don't think that you have seen this woman at all before.
So she's just like, I wonder who that would be.
So do you want to try to find her, or do you want to...
Yeah, I think what she's going to do then is to go and maybe out in the social part and see if she could see her friends and see if she could see this lady, and maybe they know something about the lady shelf.
You see that she is currently singing.
Okay.
So you can wait for her, or okay. So we will then cut to Baron. Baron, you had a lovely night with your friend, your blonde friend. You guys kissed and parted ways, and you are back in your room, laying down, and the world is kind of spinning. I am going to need you to make a grit check.
4/9.
That's a pass. Okay. You start vomiting. And so you are vomiting now.
Paid to see what the failure did to me.
Yeah, so after just kind of throwing up, you pass out in your bed in the room. Hovland, as you are exiting the mechanical room and walking back, sorry, not you. My bad.
Okay.
We're going to cut to Megan. Megan, you are surrounded by people. You're doing your thing. People are like girls are on you, guys are talking to you, you're passing cigars around, you're passing other stuff around, you guys are all having a good time, and all of a sudden, you know, you kind of feel someone who reaches over you and behind you, and then you feel something tight on your neck. Make a grit check.
Oh no.
And this is going to be easy for you, so roll an additional die.
Okay. Both fail.
Both fail. So lose 3 health.
Okay.
And you are currently being choked. But the people around you do not seem to notice that you are being choked. Like it's a thin wire you can't even really see, or it's like fishing line, and you can feel someone behind you doing it, but everyone's kind of fucked up around you.
Yeah, I can imagine that everyone's like laughing, and I almost imagine it's like the scene where the camera's like totally rocking back and forth, and you see all the people laughing and talking, and Jack's just bug-eyed, just like, and he's trying to say something, like, and he's trying to reach out to someone, but is unable to make any noise or sound or anything. I think the best thing he's gonna try and I think
Before you can do anything,
yeah.
we're going to cut back to Alice. So Alice, you see the red-haired singer. Sorry, Hovland, I know I skipped you, but I did that on purpose. Alice, you see the red-haired singer. What would you like to do?
I think she's not going to accost her while she's singing. She's going to wait for her break, and look around the room for her friends, which was the other thing she was going to do. What will she see?
So, this is before Jack's encountered anything. So
Okay.
you just see Jack kind of in his element, really chatting up these socialites around him, and they are loving it. You also see where the woman has her like purse and fur jacket off stage.
I think Alice went direction.
Okay, so
so as to catch the offer, you know,
yeah, you saw
or just see what the sets to her stuff.
Yeah, do you want to search her stuff?
Well, what's the situation when she gets there? Is it private? Would she have to search out? I mean, what?
No one's really paying any attention to you. They are fixated on her, and her like eyes are closed and she's singing. If you want to try to subtly look through her stuff, then you'll have to make that check, but no one suspects you of anything. You've just walked over there.
Okay. I think she might kind of look around, and if nobody's looking, she might reach out and snake and open it up and start kind of going through it.
Yeah, so go ahead and make a cunning check.
Out of 4. I'm not too cunning. I overstepped my abilities there.
Yeah, so one of like the drummers looks over at you, and he like says something to the singer, and she like looks over at you while she continues singing and notices that you are in her purse.
Oh shit.
So now we'll go to Hovland. Callie, you have you've been ushered out of the mechanics room and you've closed the door. Where would you like to go from here?
So is the mechanics room where they fly it from?
The mechanics room is not where the pilots are. It's more like where the engines are.
Okay, so
I
that
guess,
was me
or the
searching for
propeller.
like smuggling compartments.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now I'm gonna head to the cockpit.
Okay.
And
Go
try
ahead.
to pull levers there, maybe.
All right. So you enter the cockpit, and there are two well-dressed gentlemen. And they say, "Yes. Can we help you? Are you interested in checking out the dials and instruments?"
Yeah. Any chance you'd let a fellow captain have a turn at the wheel?
Of course, they are like winking at each other. You can tell that they have glasses. Also, like they're participating
The
in the
pilots are
drinking.
drunk. Is
They're not.
everybody drunk?
They're not drunk, but
Oh,
they are participating in the drinking.
nice.
And they're like not expecting an attractive young lady to be walking into the cockpit. So they are like, "Sure, come on up, sit right here. We'll explain all about this instrumentation to you."
I'll kind
Make
of
a
play into
renown
that.
check. Yeah.
Okay, renown.
hmm
12. So
Yes.
I don't know what I do, but it's not
So
graceful.
you are just like laser focused on trying to figure out specifically how to fly it. And they are like not so amused with your lack of attention to their egos.
Yeah.
So after a while, they kind of get like a little short with you, and they're like, "Yes, look here, ma'am. You can't be in the cockpit for extended periods of time. You must leave now." And they also are ushering you out.
Okay, as I leave, I yell, "Yeah, well, this flying balloon's a piece of trash." And so are you. And I slam the door.
As you slam the door, you feel a little bit more of a concussive force than you expected. Make a grit check.
Oh gosh. Okay. Also fail.
Take 5 points of health as you
Ooh.
are blasted into the wall and you feel heat around you.
What do they riddle their door with a bomb?
Alice, just as this singer is locking eyes with you, you can, as you are reaching into her purse, your hands reach around a necklace, and it's a necklace with like an all-seeing eye on it, and you grab it, and you can't help it, but you grab it and you turn and you run. And as you are running back to your room, you feel the ship or the Zeppelin, excuse me, getting rocked. Jack, as your eyes are bugging and you're like reaching out to people, gasping for air, trying to get help, you also feel the weight on your back shift as you kind of feel like you're free falling for a second as you feel the rock in the Zeppelin. And that's where we'll take a quick 5-minute break. Brennan, you're past that the fuck out. You don't feel anything.
Oh no.
Excellent. That's exactly how I like my Zeppelin rocks.
So we'll actually make this an 8-minute break. So we're back here at 8:30 on the nose, and then we'll close out the last hour. Thanks, guys.
Oh my gosh. Easy. I'm loving this game. This is so much fun. I like it when all the unexpected craziness happens.
Dun-it, dun-it.
Say donut.
Yeah, who doesn't like donuts?
Someone in the wrong state of mind, my guy.
Hey, you're from Michigan. I saw this bar today that advertised Detroit style pizza. What the fuck is Detroit style pizza?
It's got motor oil on it.
Gross, Baron.
Motor oil and poverty.
Made with lead tainted water.
That's Flint.
Yeah.
What's got motor that?
Detroit style pizza.
Yep.
I mean, I've heard of like New York and Chicago. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I really don't know.
This is going all sorts
Rectangular
of crazy.
pizza that has a thick, crisp crust and toppings such as pepperoni and mushrooms.
I feel like that's just a
And motor oil.
I mean, in Canada, we have our own pizza. So
What? No.
Canada pizzas.
Canadian pizza. Yeah.
Does it have
It's-
French fries and gravy on it?
That would be really good. It's just like, I think it's pepperoni and bacon and mushroom and tomato, and that's it.
Wait, do you mean like Canadian bacon or
Yeah.
bacon? So ham.
Well, sure.
Do you know that here in the States we have something called Canadian bacon?
Really?
Yep.
Yeah,
and
it's
sort of
it's
like
ham.
ham.
So it turns out our bacon is a lot better than yours.
Our bacon is
Oh.
pork belly, and
Oh.
what we call Canadian bacon is just like deli ham.
What? Really?
Yeah,
much.
straight up. And usually it's Canadian bacon and pineapple on a pizza.
No.
Oh.
I happen to love, especially if you put green olives on it
Ooh,
No.
yeah.
No. Ugh.
and sauerkraut.
The only fruit that belongs on a pizza is tomato.
No, tomatoes are always good. But yeah. Back in the days when I worked in a pizza parlor, free lunch pizza, when you worked the shift, your own little 8-inch pizza, and I used to put Canadian bacon, pineapple, sauerkraut on it. And thick and so juicy. It was fantastic. And double cheese. It was a mess.
Wait, sauerkraut on a pizza?
Yeah.
I wouldn't knock
It
it.
doesn't come across so sour. See? It's sort of a texture thing. I loved it. That kind of bitey, juicy, with the spicy meat and the sauerkraut. It was great.
I'm the worst German Polish person ever. I hate sauerkraut. My
like
card has been revoked.
What about like
I got a fair amount of German going on.
do you like bratwurst?
Oh yeah, like bratwurst, schnitzel, Flammkuchen, anything.
You're fine.
You're
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All
We'll
that I
overlook
like.
the sauerkraut thing.
Just sauerkraut.
Flammkuchen. Okay.
The best is, I don't know if you guys have ever had it. It's called, I don't know what the English word is. It's like Apfeltaschen. It's like pierogi dough, and you put sauteed apples and cinnamon into there. You boil it, fry it, and you coat it in butter and sugar. But it's like the
Sign me
dough
up.
is like pierogi dough,
That
so it's really
sounds delicious.
thick. Yeah, it's really
Fried apple
good.
pie.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll lose
Very-
weight on that.
What's it called? What's it called? Alphaheim?
Apfeltaschen.
Alphalteschen. Okay, new character name. I am Alphalteschen.
Some people say Apfel. Some people say Apfel. It's just apple in German.
More importantly, it's a Teschen.
Yeah, I don't know what that word means, but I think that's the part that makes it good.
Probably the dough.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have all just been rocked by this explosion that's happened on the Zeppelin. You hear alarms going off. You hear over the intercoms the pilots kind of slurring their words a bit, saying, "Please, everyone, get to your cabins. We have encountered an unexpected incident and might be going down. Please, secure yourselves in your cabins." And so, yeah, basically people are frantic, panicking. The tables with glasses and stuff have all been jostled, and there's like broken glass and fallen chairs all around, and people are screaming and running into each other, over each other, pushing and shoving to try to get back to their cabins. But really, after the initial like upheaval, nothing is really like, you're kind of just like stable, and it seems like you've stopped. Not stopped, but you hear that the propellers have stopped going. And you'll hear back over the intercoms, "To all passengers, do not worry. We will make a safe landing, but we are stranded."
Can I go back down to the like mechanics room
Yeah.
and see if, and I want to look for why the propellers, like if there's a problem with the propellers and if I can figure out how to fix it.
Yeah, so you can make your way down the hallway to get to the mechanical room, and you see, smoke billowing out of the room and people running towards it, running into it, and people, wearing coveralls and wearing tuxedos saying, "Please, get to your," or "Please, ma'am, get to the cabin, get to the cabin."
Does it look like they have it under control?
Go
Slash, does
ahead
it look like a
and
bomb went off in there?
make a knowledge check.
Okay. Yeah, that's another fail. She should just go to her room.
Busy. It's busy as shit. You can't tell if they have it under control. You can't tell if it's a bomb or if it's like a mechanical failure. You would need to be able to see it to properly diagnose it.
Yeah. I think that Allie's gonna go back to the bar and look for the group or something, or yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
She ain't getting anywhere with this.
Yeah. So Alice, or Jack, this person has just been bucked off of your back, and you guys were both thrown to the ground, and now you can turn and see them who have attacked you. And it's a tall, muscular, blonde man who maybe was chatting you up earlier. You can't really tell. You saw so many people.
Yeah, but I don't recognize him in any way, do I?
No.
Jack is going to try and get up as quickly as he can, and in the confusion, like, he wants to try and get up before the guy, and he wants to kick him before running back. Well, before, I guess, all he would get to do is just kind of get up and kick him.
Well, no, go ahead and explain what else you wanted to do.
So he wants to just give him a swift kick and head towards his room.
Okay. And you said you're kind of like using the panic of everyone around you to probably like disappear in the crowd when you are after you kick them and stuff. So give me a grit check.
Okay. That is a fail.
So you stumble when you get up because people are just rushing past you and kind of shove you, and you're not able to kick him. But you are able to get up, and you can stumble your way towards your room. Okay, so then Alice, you have clutched in your hand a necklace with the all-seeing eye, and you see that the woman with the singer with red hair is also on the ground. What would you like to do?
So I fell down when the Zeppelin did its buck.
Yeah.
Alice is going to scramble to her feet the best she can. Did you say that I just grabbed it and ran off without really being able to control myself on that?
Correct.
I mean,
correct.
Did I notice any sort of compulsion, or did I even really notice?
Make a mysticism check.
All right, mysticism. Okay. Well, that's not good. I rolled a 12.
So
that is not going to pass.
You don't know the like source of your actions. You are just like drawn to this. This is like you cannot.
Okay.
You're
so I'm just
almost
thinking,
obsessive over it.
Yeah, gotta have this thing. I gotta find out what a cool Egyptology artifact, and I'm running for my room with it to hopefully get away from everybody, which is not real logical, but that's where she's at.
Great. So, Callie, you made your way back to the room. Jack, you made your way back to the room. Alice, you made your way back to the room. Everyone's in their respective rooms. And just for like the sake of simplicity, we're going to say you guys have like adjoining suites or something. So you can all talk to each other, except you enter the room and see passed out Brennan with like puke over the nice silk sheets.
Jack's gonna head towards him and start trying to shake him. Come on, Brennan. This is no time to be passed out.
Brennan, make a grit check.
Eight over 9.
All right, so you're able to kind of like wake up from the slaps of...
Jack, what? Why are you hitting me? Stop.
There's something wrong with the ship. We have to...
There's something wrong with me, man. And I'll retch some more.
Jack wants to just... He takes a step back now that Brennan is awake.
What do you mean? What's wrong with the ship?
Well, I'm not exactly sure, but it started jolting and going down. Luckily for that, while you were taking a snooze, I was being choked to death, so there's that.
Had I slept any sounder on my back, maybe I would have too. Perhaps that would have been beneficial for the both of us. Now please, Jack, I have a headache. My stomach hurts. Do you need me?
More than your stomach is going to hurt, then
Are you
if we
being
crash
choked right now?
Jack just kind of like throws his hands up in the air, and he's gonna walk to the ladies' room.
Okay. And Brendan, just so you know, you really are feeling terrible. Yeah, you're feeling pretty bad. And Jack, you probably even noticed, like, he looks pretty bad, but there seems to be more important things to do. And you enter the room of Callie and Alice.
I would think just about that time, Alice is in the room with this necklace with the all-seeing eye on it. And she's like, Jack, what happened?
As soon as we land, however that landing is, we have to get off. People know that we're here, and they're after us.
They went through my luggage. That singer with the red hair and the green sequins, she went through my luggage. And I looked at her purse, and I found this. And she, unless this thing has some power over, she's going to hold it out a little bit and show it to Jack.
Jack, make a mysticism check.
That is not a pass.
So you are also incredibly drawn to this object. Like, you are imagining, what can I sell this for? Maybe I don't want to sell it. Maybe I want to keep it. Like, you just have a compulsion to want to possess it. And it takes everything you have to not reach out.
So famous. I'm going to be totally famous.
You see Jack just kind of start reaching for it. Like almost. Yeah.
She yanks it back and slaps it in his hand.
He kind of like shakes his head. Right, well, let's all be ready for when this thing hits the ground. That means you too, Brennan. And he kind of calls back over his shoulder.
What's up with Brennan?
Hits the ground.
Callie, you're walking into the room, and you've overheard some of this.
Yeah. I kind of just like let them have their moment. All of these people.
Okay,
I kind of like kick Brennan with my foot a little bit to like shove his foot back inside the door or something.
Sailor girl, you have about 3 more kicks before I'm absolutely done with this.
Yeah, she doesn't have anything to say to that.
So after a while, you guys get an update from the pilots. Passengers, again, do not worry. Just strap yourselves in. Our descent will have us landing in the foothills of the Alps, on the Italian side of the Alps, in just a couple hours. Luckily, this is a helium balloon and therefore not extremely flammable.
I'm very glad this is the alternate timeline of Zeppelins.
I'm wondering if my knowledge trivia tells me anything about that, or
Yeah, I mean,
what kind of trouble we're dealing with.
the Hindenburg happened before, so it's like kind of a matter of English pretension to denote that, hey, we're not using hydrogen to put in our balloons, because that's kind of foolish.
But we can still go down pretty quickly, and in the mountains.
Yeah, and it'll be a couple hours, so you guys are like over the mountains right now, and you'll land on the Italian slope of the Alps.
I will carefully pack all of my luggage, putting the most important things in the small bag, and then it's full of everything else. Which, of course, they always do.
And you keep the necklace as close to you as you can.
Can I examine that to see if I think about that with all of my great Egyptology knowledge?
Sure. Do another mysticism check, but you can, if like you have abilities to roll an additional die when researching or something like that, you know, like those would pertain.
Yeah, researching, I do get an extra. I have a success when investigating an answer with resources.
Mm. Yeah, I
But
would
that's
say
no
you.
investigation, it's a knowledge thing. But I suppose it could be mysticism too.
Yeah, this is definitely a mystical artifact.
But I have that Ankh, which
Mhm.
gives me +4 there and the extra dice. We'll see how we do. Oh, one success time.
Okay, so yeah, you know that this is an ancient Egyptian artifact, and you can't date it based on any of the like artwork or anything. And basically, all you know is you are incredibly drawn to it, more so than you have been to any other object. You know that it is drawing your attention, though. So, like, you are aware of that.
Okay. I probably noticed Jack's response to it too.
Yes.
Obviously. That's
Yeah.
not really normal for Jack. Okay. I guess I'm going to. Is it a necklace? Did you say?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Because I wear the Ankh anyway. I guess I'll put it on with the Ankh and I'll wear it tucked under my clothing where I feel it's safe and protected.
Yeah, and
Who knows
you
what
laugh
wonderful
because
things that'll do.
yeah, you kind of laugh to yourself because you recall that when King Tut was found, he had like 7 necklaces that he was wearing, and you're like, "Oh, I'm starting to accumulate my own."
Do I recognize that necklace by chance? If it was a Tut artifact?
You no.
Okay.
It you don't recognize it as a Tut artifact. Alice would also recognize it as that if it were, because she's studied it extensively as an Egyptologist.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, you guys, is there anything you would like to do in the approximate 2-hour descent to the foothills of the Alps?
What did that necklace?
Can I try to eat something?
There you go.
Drink some water.
Yeah.
Some mellow, like chicken broth or something. Something's easy on the stomach.
Well, the kitchens are not serving any food right now. They're pretty much in panic mode. All of the waiters are. So anything that might be, you can definitely find some water.
All right, there's maybe some crackers.
Probably crackers. Yeah, you can find crackers.
Jack, Alice, smuggler, give me your complimentary crackers.
As the mother, Alice recognizes of giving someone crackers when their tummy's unhappy, and she quite happily hands them over. But she doesn't get too close.
Yeah, you see Jack kind of rummage in his bag where he's already like taken all the complimentary shampoos and conditioners and soaps and kind of rummages through and he throws the cracker packet.
Ferociously, I eat these crackers.
Do I have crackers? Then do we all have some crackers?
Sure.
Okay. I will take mine, crunch them up in my hand, and sprinkle them on the floor in front of you.
What a dick move.
Is there, so there's a lot of chaos. Is there like anybody watching the bar area? And is there
Nope.
a cash register in there?
Yeah. No, everything is just
Everything's
charged.
charged, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. Callie would like try to fix the ship or fly it or something, but she's kind of been rebuffed every time she's tried to do stuff like that. So she might just be chilling.
Okay. So yeah, sounds like you guys are riding it out. After a while, the pilot gives the passengers frequent updates and basically is saying that you guys are free drifting, so the wind is blowing you and there's a hole, so that's why you're slowly descending. The mechanics were trying to fix the propeller engines. They were unable, so they will let you know when to prepare for emergency landing and how to evacuate in an orderly manner. So everyone make grit checks.
Yes.
Oh, fail.
That is a fail.
I actually passed. I can't believe it.
So everyone who fails, take 3 health.
Oh man.
Uh-oh. What?
I'm
Megan?
dead. I'm dead. Well,
Okay.
0.
So you're not dead. So when you fall to 0 and you're not like in imminent danger or any harm and no one was trying to kill you, and it's not like if it were a catastrophic, this is just kind of like, I guess, a GM discretion thing.
Mm.
You're just going to be knocked out.
Okay.
So you would not be able to gain coherence for a full rest, which is 8 hours.
Awesome.
Or just a rest. There's no short rest. It's just rest. So
Yeah.
basically, all of your companions, since they're up, it's not like the game stops. They just now have to deal with your unconscious body as the crash hurls you into one of the tables and your head just knocks right against it and you kind of, are knocked out. and you guys have now crash landed in the foothills of the Alps. The workers are ushering you out of your cabins, telling people there's like sirens going off around you. There's Italian police and like firefighters who have come to help people evacuate. They were able to, let them know it's kind of a remote area, so there's not much help and assistance, but there is some help and assistance. Resources are pretty strained here in fascist Italy, so they're helping as much as they can.
So, of course, Alice grabs her small bag, turns to the nearest person ushering people out, and says, "Bring my luggage."
We're sorry, ma'am. If you cannot carry your luggage, then you must leave it.
But we paid for
Screw
passage
your
on the ship.
luggage. We need to get out of here now.
But we paid for passage. They're supposed to handle our luggage.
Ma'am, the Zeppelin is deflating. You must evacuate now. Or be trapped underneath it.
I'll scoop up Jack.
Arr.
Fireman.
So I'm going to start out trying to drag my... We'll see how far that goes.
Each of you
Callie
make a
will-
grit check. And
Okay.
then what will Callie do?
Callie was going to actively disconnect Alice from her luggage and push her out the door without it.
Yeah, you make a grit check too.
Separate
And because
from
of that,
this, or
I guess I
just a grit check?
pass my grit check.
I passed mine.
So all three of you should be making one. And Brennan, you passed yours. You are realizing just how sick you are feeling. And it is taking just about all of your strength to lift up Jack and carry him out. You do not know if you can continue doing that to him or with him for an extended period of time. Alice, did you pass your grit check?
Yes, so I rolled a 1. Passed it.
Okay, so Callie, did you pass your grit check?
Definitely not.
So you are not able to stop Alice from carrying her luggage out, and you are frankly surprised at the
She's really
vigor
attached
with
to it.
yeah, definitely.
She's actually, you might think, she's kind of a tough middle-aged woman.
Yeah, she's got like old woman strength, just like, what? How does she do that?
Pure tenacity.
So you guys are making your way out, and the doctors are, or people are lining up to be seen by the doctors. Most people are not injured at all. They are just complaining. This is the aristocratic class, and they are furious at what has happened. And you can see like the captain just like trying to like satiate the passengers and like usher people to like seek medical attention and assuring them that they will get a refund and that this must be some sort of they've pretty much, they're not saying what happened, but they're like, we don't think this was our fault.
Does anybody coming out of this dirigible look suspicious? Like they might have been responsible for the bombing? Can I be looking for someone like that? Or like...
So go ahead and make everyone that's coherent can make a cunning check to just kind of like survey the scene.
It's 5 over 8 for me. It's the first thing I've passed in a while now.
Yeah.
4 over 3.
Ooh. Alice?
12 over 4.
Okay. So
Yeah, I didn't do very well on that one.
Brennan, yeah, you're fucked up. You're not paying attention to anything. You've tossed Jack to the ground and are just panting, laying, or sitting beside him.
You said we were in like the foothills, so it's not like obnoxious.
Not freezing.
Snowy. Okay.
No.
I'm just making sure because I'm like dehydrated.
Yeah.
Probably
No, it's
sweaty.
It's not life-threatening. You are close enough to civilization that you'll be taken care of. It's just going to be rather uncomfortable for a little while.
Don't worry, girls. I'll get him.
Alice, you are
Um,
just busy with your luggage and are like really listening to the frantic aristocrats because you know what? You're a little upset too. Like, how could this Zeppelin thing go down? And
right.
you might want your money back. I mean, it didn't cost you anything, but you kind of want a reimbursement from this catastrophe.
Well, of course, this was our own private conveyance to where we needed to go and how.
And Callie,
She's very task-oriented here.
and Callie, you notice that the mechanic that you saw is not a part of the crew.
Saboteur. Probably. Okay. Is he hanging out with the Alice? Alice told me about the singer.
Yeah, you don't see her either.
Okay. The mechanic's by himself, though.
You don't see him.
Oh, as in, okay, we don't see any of these people. The crew is
Yeah.
all there. These other people aren't. Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah. Okay. I mean, my instinct is to try to avoid them in the future. It seems like they are probably connected to the people who did the car chase to us. Or something. I don't know. I don't know what I would feel, what Kelly thinks about that, but she wants to get out of here. So her instinct is to steal a car or something and get out of here. But like getting Alice's luggage, or Carol's. No, it is Alice. Sorry, Carol. Getting Alice's luggage into it while you're trying to steal it seems like it's not going to work. So she's like not really sure what to do. She's following the crowd.
Yeah, so basically they're going to shuttle all of you guys to the nearest town's train station, book all of you tickets to the final destination of Rome, and get you there as quickly as you can, as they can. And as you guys are being transported, you don't get a chance to rest. And Brennan, I need you to make a grit check.
12 over 10.
Okay, so you are just continuing to feel extremely bad.
Oh, that's easy enough to roleplay. That's how I feel usually.
So you guys are able to make your way, you guys are at the train station of this small town. You can follow the rest of the passengers on the train to Rome, or you are free to do as you wish.
Come up with any possible ideas as to where we'd want to go? That's a question.
Yeah, so, okay, let's see. Jack, it
What?
has been about 8 hours now. So you are just starting to wake up as everyone's in the train station. And yes, Alice, you can now ask the question.
Yes. So did anyone gather any information where these artifacts might be going?
You guys can collectively make
Does
a
she have?
knowledge check. So everyone who's coherent can roll for knowledge. And this would be dealing with clues if you have anything dealing with clues.
Lovely. Lovely. Can I scribble down notes, which gives me a die to solving clues?
Yep. 10.
Because I only passed one of my 2 rolls.
I got 1 pass.
Even with a 10, I rolled a 10 and an 11. I'm like, no, this is not the time to have horrible rolls.
2, and what about you guys?
Looks like 0 for Brennan, also for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jack, you are like emerging from your unconscious stupor, have regained your bearings, and Alice is frantically like scribbling in her notebook, talking about all of these ways of deciphering the Egyptian artifacts to try to figure out where they might be headed, and using her knowledge of ancient Egypt to try to predict the final destination. And you are taking a little bit more modern worldly approach, and you're thinking, okay, Italian port, and if they're trying to get to Africa, I mean, why not an Italian African port? And so between you and Alice, you know from Alice that it's got to be somewhere in Africa, and you're like, oh, of course, it's got to be Tripoli. That's where it's headed. The Italian port of Tripoli, which is in Libya.
So I think while everyone's talking about this, Jack is just absolutely holding his head, closing his eyes every so often.
Sitting next to Brennan, who's holding his stomach and his pale and sunken eyes. You owe me one, Jack. Carrying your ass through the goddamn mountains.
I gave you my crackers, didn't I?
Crackers versus the mountains, Jack.
I don't know. I really, really like crackers.
I was making the face I wanted Brennan to make. It's gone now. But very just really.
So yeah, you guys have figured out that it's probably Tripoli.
Will going on the train take us in the right direction?
Yes, you can.
As a player, my knowledge of geography.
You can get on the train and go to a port to try and find passage to Tripoli, which shouldn't be too hard once you're in Italy. Or since you're in Italy. Sorry.
Okay.
So, after all of that fanfare, you guys need to kind of keep a low profile as you are traveling through Italy. So I'm going to have you guys make a collective cunning check.
I failed.
Okay.
One pass.
I failed.
I passed.
I can't imagine. Her luggage is going to be less than noticeable.
Yeah, so you guys don't get noticed by any of the like Italian authorities, but you do notice at one point John and Mary start whispering to each other and pointing towards you, Alice. They are in the rail car as you're headed to Rome. And they start walking over towards you. But they're not shouting or anything.
I think Alice is going to wait and just have it out with them or talk with them and see what she can gain from them, since they obviously know she's there now. Let's see if she can figure out what they're doing.
Despite his long-leggedness, Mary is the first to approach you in walking quite a quick clip as she's like bustling past people, and she says, "Alistair Crowley, what are you doing here? I cannot believe you made it onto the Zeppelin and then onto this train. I shall surely report you to the authorities."
Report me here perfectly legally. There's nothing wrong with it. Being here, Mary Chubb.
Yes, well, and at this point, John Pendlebury will approach you. "Well, yes, Alistair Crowley. Ha. Like Mary said, give us one good reason why we should not report you to the authorities immediately. We know you were involved in stealing the artifacts from the British Museum."
We didn't steal them. We're chasing after the people who did. Why would we steal them?
Are you telling me that you know who stole them?
We have some ideas where they may be headed. I can't say who stole them yet. I don't know, but we have some clues and some ideas, and we're trying to find them.
You're a student of the estranged Sudbury. You can't follow clues out of a paper bag. Surely you do not know. Hand over your clues to the authorities. They know what they're doing better than you.
Listen here, Mr. John Pendlebury. You're no professor. I've got better credentials than you do.
Don't tell me about who knows enough I am the leader of the dig. For the
You're the leader of the dig? What fool? Excuse me, how did you get that position?
Well, I know people.
Yeah, but you don't know much about Egyptology.
Even at this, Mary will kind of laugh because you've hit it right on the nose.
Didn't you buy that false artifact from Sudbury's estate? You paid a pretty penny for it, too. I warned you.
I assure you, ma'am, we buy no false artifacts. I want you to make a cunning check to try and make them preoccupied with your arguments enough to not even think to report you or anything.
That didn't work. I rolled a 7 out of 4.
Well, we will show you surely. And they start calling over the Italian policeman who's riding in the car to you, saying, "This lady stole artifacts." And so the Italian police will come up to you guys and kind of start accosting the whole group. just, what's going on here? Hey.
Well,
but they're
these
speaking
two
Italian,
people-
so they can't really understand anyone. They only speak Italian.
So I get out my little guidebook thing with all of these little phrases, which is my language translator. I realized was like one of those little dictionaries, English to Italian sort of thing. And I'm flipping through it, pointing at words and explaining to them that these people really don't know what they're talking about, that they were mistaken as to what I was doing. And
okay, yeah, make a renown check with the edition that you gained from that book. The translator.
I get an extra die.
Yeah.
Using my translator book. Oh, great. I rolled an 8 and 12 over 3.
So
I'm putting all my dice in jail.
You are like frantically pointing towards the book, and basically you don't realize it, but you're kind of saying like, yep, I am a thief, although you're trying not to say that.
I'm trying to say I am not a thief. They are thieves, but somehow I get flustered and point at the wrong words.
So they are starting to put Alice in cuffs and are removing her bag from her. What would the rest of you like to do? Starting with Callie. So far, they're not after you.
Yeah. So Callie is probably going to just dissolve into the background if she can. Kind of do her puff of smoke thing and then see where Alice gets taken, like follow and break her out or something.
Okay, yeah. So you guys kind of don't notice where Callie has gone.
Yeah, Callie just disappears. Flakes out and leaves.
Jack, do you think we could wave some cash under this guard's nose and perhaps save our meal ticket from incarceration?
I have found myself fresh out of cash from my anyway, don't worry, I'll figure something out. And he's gonna go up to and tap the shoulder of one of the officers, and he is going to flash some sort of identification, his wallet, and he wants to try and, through a series of like signaling and very slow words, basically he wants to get it across that he is Alice's carer, essentially.
Okay, yeah. Roll either renown or cunning with your identification bonus. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think because it's well, I don't know. What would you say if it's cunning or renown? Because it could be it's a performance, but
Yeah,
it's also deception. So I'm not.
I would say since you are, yeah, we'll go with renown because I think that's what the identification is more about. Is like.
Yeah, and obtaining favors. So he's basically just asking, like, please don't. She's crazy. Like, just, yeah. Okay. So with that, those are 2 successes.
Okay. Yeah. So you are able to basically make it seem like this is your deranged mom or something. Like she doesn't know what she was even saying. These people, there's just a misunderstanding. And you're like, we'll take care of it. No problem. We speak English. We'll handle it. And he's pretty much just like, all right, man, I don't even really want to he doesn't want to deal with any of this.
Yeah, he's kind of like, you wouldn't want to arrest an old, like, a lady.
Yeah, so he'll take off the cuffs and basically like motion you guys to make sure that you resolve it with John and Mary. And so, yeah, Brennan, it's going to be up to you to try and resolve it with John and Mary.
I roll over. I don't roll over. I shift my weight from one leg to the other as I kind of like adjust myself to look at them, and kind of like flashing the handle of my gun that's in my like holster here in my armpit. I'll kind of just like sullenly look at them. The way I see it, you got two ways out of this. You can walk away, or I can throw you off this train.
Go ahead and make a grit check.
1 on the die.
Yeah, they are they don't deal with people with guns. They're like, yep, understood. No problem here. Sorry, we didn't realize you were with her. Hey, make sure that you keep her, keep her away from us. You're lucky we don't report you.
It's a victory, clearly.
So, you guys are able to make your way to Rome, no problem. Find a boat that will get you to Tripoli, no problem, and you can arrive there without further incident. It's going to require another day's worth of travel, and by your estimations, Callie, you think you might just beat that freighter ship in.
Cool. Freighters are slow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys made great time without having to stop anywhere else with that Zeppelin. So even with your derailment, you're likely going to beat that freighter there. And over the 2 days, or over the additional day of travel, you guys are able to get rest. Except, Brennan, I need you to make a grit check.
Fucking 12 over 9.
I've
rolled 12 3 times in a row. For this check.
Yeah, you have.
I'm fucking sick.
So
I got
you
fucking
are going
polio or something. Jesus.
Yeah, you can't. You are just sick. You're not regaining any health. You continue to be sick. You stay up all night puking. You just know that you have been poisoned somehow, and you can barely do anything besides drink water and eat crackers.
Would it maybe be like this poison should have outright killed me, and that's why it's like 3 days later? Or I mean, we have been traveling pretty extensively, not really getting a whole lot of rest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick. I'm sick, guys. I need help. Help me.
Yeah, and we are going to end the session here with you guys arriving in Tripoli.
Awesome.
Fantastic. What a crazy ride.
All right. If you are all done, Philip, we're going to go ahead and wrap her up. So this was another adventure into the super cool pulp fiction badass Egypt mystery dungeon that is TreasureQuest, a system created by Phillip Maddi here himself. We are all but pawns for him to manipulate. I am Baron. This is RWD Gaming. There is Phillip Maddi, Carol Dunster, Megan Hambrock, and Justin. I do not know your last name.
Hovland.
Justin Hovland. We will be back next week as we carry on our adventure. And until then, we will see you next time.